What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? You are on the sidelines with the sideline guys. And today, people, today I have the honor of being joined once again by my co host, my brother in arms, the podfather himself, my guy, Derek Myers. How's it going, brother?
All is well, bro. How you doing?
I mean, how could you not, right? Saquon is going nuclear.
Hey.
They,
Hey, man. I put it like this. I'm better than the Giants.
that's a low blow, man.
Better than
It's
the
easy.
Cowboys. You know.
Better than the command.
Better
Why
than the
you stopping
Commanders.
there? Yeah.
We just I'm feeling much better than everybody is in that division. We all good.
Hey, I wish I felt as good as you feel, but I'm feeling pretty damn good myself.
Yes, sir.
Let's see how good and happy we are towards each other when we get into our matchup
Oh
later on.
man, yeah. It's
But
really a one-on-one this week.
yeah, for real, we're really going head to head. But of course, before we hop into all the fun stuff that we've got in store for you on this episode, make sure that you're following the brand at OTS Media Co. on all social media platforms, OTS Media on YouTube, so you can continue to get all of our awesome content streamlined right to you so you never miss a beat. But with all that being said, Derek, it's only right that you let the people know where they can find you too, goddammit.
Oh yeah, you can follow me at Derek_OTS. That's DERRICK, the black way to spell
And don't you get it wrong after all
it.
these years. You better get it right. You could catch me on Instagram at Chris Negron underscore, as well as Twitter and the TikTok machine at Negron MMA. Now that all the pleasantries are before us, I'm so excited to hop into this NBA talk, right? There's juicy drama already. And
Yeah,
sometimes, right, the theater doesn't even need to play out on the big screen. Sometimes, right?
yeah,
It's in the doldrums of these arenas where all these things are playing out right now. Let's just call it what it is, man. The 76ers are in the mud,
yeah,
and frustrations are clearly boiling over into the media now. It's not just about we're pouting on the floor. We talking shit now. So
yeah,
Maxey reportedly called out Joel Embiid for always being late. This is per Shams. Shout out to the new Woj, my guy.
yeah,
Chill on K Adams a little. All right, chill.
yeah.
But hey, the quote is in the meeting, Maxey challenged Embiid to be on time to team activities, calling out the former league MVP about being late for everything and how it impacts the locker room from other players to the coaching staff. Sources briefed on the meeting told ESPN. Now, I got to ask you, Derek, right off of the top. I don't think this is a crazy inflammatory detail, right? I think it's
Yeah.
telling that this is probably the headline that they went with, right? Because hey, if this is the worst shit we got to complain about,
Mm.
maybe the meeting wasn't that bad, right? But how do you feel about this headline at all, and what it means as far as the way media is shifting in these locker rooms?
Bro, I mean, honestly, the idea, because like even before we even started recording, we're recording this on Tuesday, so before we got on, the guys on NBA on TNT were discussing it, and Charles Barkley was even talking about how he agrees Embiid needs to be more accountable, but the thing that he does not like is which he agrees with Embiid on is the fact that whoever leaked this story, he said just needs to be punched in the face, basically. And I mean, my whole thing, the aspect of this is that I don't know. My question is who the person was that leaked it, because if you have someone that's leaking information from a players only meeting, or was it a players only meeting? I think it was a players only meeting. But if someone's leaking something like that from that type of meeting, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. But in today's day and age, I don't know how you get away with that, like without it not happening. Because Maybe it wasn't somebody in on the team that leaked it. Maybe it was uh there was some device in there or whatever that they may have had something streaming or whatever. You never know. You never know how something gets out like that. So I almost feel like if you're gonna do these type of meetings, that has to be like a no device zone
Mhm.
or something like that. That it has to be a real lock in thing because I can't see how you're able to keep something in house if you're not being purposeful about what's going on in your locker room. But we just discussed this a couple weeks ago about how the media is getting in, and this is happening with Philly sports in general, but how media is getting in there and saying different things and really ruffling the feathers of Philly players in general. So it's not shocking that they had something like that happen anyway. But I mean, Embiid needs to be held accountable. Because look, let me ask you something. If it's not an injury thing, why are you late?
Yep, there's no excuse for it. A wise man once told me, if you are on time, you are late.
Yes. And if you are the face of the team, you are a former MVP. Honestly, there's no excuse for it. You're not even playing right now, bro. So what's going on?
I do agree with that sentiment fully. At the same time, though, in my opinion, especially when we're talking about a hierarchy, right, of men,
Yeah.
this shouldn't have been on Tyrese Maxey to call him out about. Like, this shouldn't have been an issue that gets past the locker room in that way, right? Like,
Mhm,
you have this authority of these coaches for a reason, right? It's not
mhm.
it's not just saying, oh, you're the babysitter of these guys. At the end of the day, we're all created equal, right? If we're gonna be
Right.
corny here, but um, those people are there for a reason to hold everyone accountable. And if you can't do that with your top stars, that your other stars feel the need to be that guy, it
Mhm.
says a lot about where the team is headed. And I think ultimately, look, no matter who the coaching staff was going to be this year, they were going to have a hard time, right? There's a lot of things
Yeah.
that are a lot of moving pieces that is going to keep this team bad for a while.
Yeah.
Um, at the same time, though, it's just like, listen, I'm sure there's a lot of conversations that happen just like this across all these different locker rooms. But the
Yeah.
fact that they're in the position they're at right now and this is coming out, just a fucking terrible look. Terrible look.
Yeah. No, no, it definitely is. I think y- I like the fact that Maxi took it upon himself to hold Embiid accountable. Because to be honest, if we're looking at Maxi as one of the faces of the team, as like to be honest, he's not as big of a name as Embiid, but in terms of output, yeah, his gameplay, yeah, he is one of those guys there. So I like the fact that he feels comfortable enough to say something to Embiid, but again, it shouldn't be happening. Like that's where I have the issue. Not only is it happening, but like, did Embiid really need to play in the Olympics? Did he need to? Nah, because if your goal, because he said this during the finals, his goal was to get get a championship for Philly. He hates Boston. He wants to go at Boston, this and the other. But if you're not putting yourself in a position to be able to get into that scenario to possibly do something against Boston, yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? It's not a rivalry. He said it himself. It's not because we always beat them. Like we always beat them. It's not a question. So you gonna tool up. You're gonna try and you go get Paul George and build around with Maxi. Like you got to do better on your end. And the Olympics wasn't right for you to play in this year because you see what's going on right now.
Yeah.
I picked him up in fantasy, bro. You know how I feel right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that wasn't the best look. Not
Oh
gonna
my
lie.
god. Because I'm thinking, "Oh, he'll be back. It's just like a little inflammation type thing. He'll be good."
Yep, the MP, the MP.
My god. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Between him and Paul George, I like, it's
Hmm.
crazy.
Yep, and
That's
then
crazy.
it was so funny too with so many Sixers fans just shitting on Tobias Harris and what he brought to the game. And then the couple the couple games that Paul George plays, he's averaging basically the same numbers
Basically
that
the same
Tobias
numbers.
Harris was.
Yeah,
So it's like,
and if I'm not mistaken, Tobias played a lot more.
yeah, he has been playing for the Detroit Pistons.
So,
He is scoring on the
you
stat
know,
sheet.
hey, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but at the end of the day, let's figure this shit out, right? This stuff obviously shouldn't be going out. That's a given. But also,
Yeah.
like, is this really a big fucking deal? Like, can we be honest here? Like,
With
I'm
him
gonna
being
be
late,
real. Even if tempers flared and this was the main topic of conversation of the entire meeting, multiple people called out Embiid. Do we even care? Like, should we care? I don't think so.
I you know what? I I think the fans of the team should care.
Yeah.
I think if you actually care about um the product that's out there on the courts, the league should care. If you're not a fan of the team, I personally, I don't know, I couldn't care less. However, as a fan of basketball, like in general, I want to see good hoops. I like it doesn't matter who's playing. I want to see them play ball. I want to see it. And when you don't have the best player on the team out there, like that's trash. That's trash. That's trash. And the fact that he plays the way he plays. I am so serious. Between him and Giannis, bro, they're not gonna have long prime years playing the way that they play. They're just not going to. And then not it's not just because of how big they are. Like they're actually shortening their prime years by doing the unnecessary stuff. So, if he's able to get better and heal up and get out there on that court, let's see it.
Yeah. Good
Let's see
luck.
it.
You
Come on.
got a big hill to climb,
Yeah.
and hey, if you're trying to end up where you want to be, shit, I might have to run the table for the rest of the year. So
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's not playing any more back to backs, right? So
Oh yeah, that's not happening, and these frustrations ain't gonna stop boiling over anytime soon. So
not at all. Not at
interesting
all.
developing story we have out there in Philadelphia. But with all that being said, our side note is done. Let's get into these headlines, ladies and
Yes, sir.
gentlemen. Week 12 was a doozy. We'll get into our stats for week 12 in a few, but I wanted to lead with this one because I thought it was really telling, right?
Mhm.
There hasn't been many quarterbacks that have had this level of success against the Chiefs, right? So I can't talk too much shit, but
Yeah.
um, we obviously saw the great performance that came out of Bryce Young, a really close game that came down to a field goal that ended up winning it for the Chiefs in regulation. I gotta ask, man, does this game say more about Bryce Young's future or about the Chiefs' future for this season?
Can it be both?
It can. Yes, it can.
Because I can see it both, man. Like, I
Hmm.
think that the Chiefs, we've been talking about this all season. They just don't look like it.
Hmm.
Like they have just been skating by, and a good portion of that streak was them just like barely making it. Like
Phoning it in. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think that that's a big portion of it, but also yes, Bryce Young, he's young. Like why again? This is my frustration with excuse me with young quarterbacks is they're not getting the time to develop. So, the idea that they're supposed to go out there year one and be Tom Brady is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like this idea that they're supposed to go out there and just automatically know what the hell to do. Like it takes a couple of years to develop. So I think it was a good sign for the Panthers. Um, that yeah, you got a guy that you can build around him, like actually do it. Let's see what he can do. Um, Very similar to how they built around Cam Newton.
Yep.
They just don't treat Cam Newton the right way. But I think in those years that he was there, they did a great job of putting the specific pieces around him that complemented his game.
Mhm.
Get that line right, and we'll see what else falls in place for them. But they got to build from inside out. You can't just throw them out there.
Yes,
So
sir.
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both for sure.
Yep, and I think they are clearly developing a lot of the different pieces they have there, which is great to see.
Yeah,
I was just really impressed because I thought the quality of the game was huge. Like I watched a lot of
yeah,
that game just because of the
yeah.
way the slate worked out,
Hmm.
and I just thought like it wasn't necessarily like I was watching this like man the Chiefs look super bad, right?
Hmm.
I thought the Panthers were going out there and executing.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
the same time though, right? It takes two to tango, and
yeah.
you don't want to see that out of your defense. But honestly, I really felt like a lot of that was really Bryce Young looking confident out there, looking sure of himself, and making the good reads. Like I
Hmm.
really thought you can't really fault KC too much, but at the same time, I think it says a lot, right? To struggle in a game like this against someone you were clearly favored up against big after taking your first loss of the season.
Hmm.
Once again, I just think this is a team that should be looked at a little bit differently than their record, and that's okay, right? Your
Hmm.
record is never the full story of who you are as a team, and I don't think this is me saying, "Hey, Kansas City's not gonna make it to the playoffs or something crazy." No,
Yeah, yeah.
I think they're gonna be fine. But to see them struggle like this early, um, I think there's two schools of thought, right? One, you could say, it's good that they have something to figure out now, right? There's sign on tape for them to build towards.
Hmm.
The other school of thought is you don't play with your food and you got to go out there and get these wins, right? At the end of the day. So,
Yeah.
as someone who the majority of my team's losses are against teams that we were favored and should have probably beat, I get that sentiment more than others. But
Hmm.
yeah, I tend to give the credit to Carolina in this one. I think they
Yeah,
don't really
yeah,
have a lot to look forward to at this point in time, if we're being
yeah.
honest. But this was a good indicator that hey, maybe we do have a couple sparks here. Do we have a fire? Hell no. But
Nah.
we got some sparks.
You got some sparks. Yeah. I mean, what's funny? I think it was last week or the week prior, Draymond Green came out and was talking about the Chiefs and said that he thinks they're getting bounced out first game in the playoffs. Which sounds preposterous, but his perspective on it wasn't the worst. He was saying basically that they you're not it's too late in the season to build winning habits, like to start the building. Like you've got to build on certain things early on to get those habits in to be able to rely on them in the playoffs.
Mhm.
And I mean, the way that they've been looking this season, I can't disagree with him. I can't say that they're going to get bounced in the first round. However, it's not a far cry to make that prediction that they could get bounced in the first round, which would be interesting. That would be interesting to see if that actually happens. So I don't know. Quickly, do you think that's a possibility or
A possibility, yes. I think it always like any other fight, right? It always comes down
yeah,
to the matchup and who you're going up against. But yeah, I don't see that happening necessarily. But
yeah,
at the same time, I do get where he's coming from, and I
yeah,
definitely think there is a storyline there to be watching with the Chiefs because you could argue the same thing happened last year as well, right?
yes,
Where they sort of caught their stride just at the right time and sort of through the playoffs, even. There was a lot of questions about how they've been looking prior and whether or not they could
hmm,
continue to be on an upward trend, right? So, um, obviously, my main point here is these are observable things, right?
yeah,
We're not panicking. We're not saying
yeah,
this team sucks,
yeah,
but at the same time, there are things to address and things to change if you want a three-peat, right? And that's what
yeah,
that's their goal. So you got to hold them to it.
yep, most definitely.
Next up, it's only right that we bust down this Sunday night football game because god damn it, Saquon went nuclear. Let's get these stats out because it's only right. We've got 255 rushing yards on 26 carries for an average of 9.8, two rushing touchdowns, as well as, don't forget, four receptions for 47 yards, bringing him to a total of over 300 yards for the game.
Yes.
AJ Brown went absolutely off as well, which you
Yes.
love to see that connection blossoming between him and Jalen Hurts. I gotta ask, man. Obviously, you're riding high coming off of a game like this. There's no way you can't be.
Mhm.
But what does it mean to have a goddamn MVP contender on your team? Someone that you can confidently say should be in the final three as far as people you're looking at to make your MVP this year.
Mhm.
Um, and knowing, right, this isn't someone you had last year, right? So
Yeah.
having someone like Saquon new to your team and what he's been able to produce, what is it like as a fan, right? First and foremost.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. I mean, which is the craziest thing about it. I don't want to get ahead of myself with this, but watching him, it honestly looks like this might be the greatest Eagles running back of all time. That's crazy to say when you think about who's been there. LaShawn McCoy, Brian Westbrook is crazy to think about, but if you're seeing what he's doing, I mean, he is single-handedly um the difference maker on offense. He really is. It's crazy. It's honestly insane, and the fact that the Giants let him walk, paid Daniel Jones over Barkley, and then let Barkley walk, and still cut Daniel Jones the same year is ridiculous. That's honestly ridiculous. So I don't know, man. I think that it's from a fan's perspective, it's fun as hell. It feels special. It feels different. Um, I'm trying to just take it one game at a time, but this feels different. As a fan of football, that's just it's just good to see that, honestly, like, to be alive in this moment, to see this. Like, you think about it, one day we're actually gonna be able to tell our kids we watched this. We're gonna look back at highlights. We can actually say we saw Saquon spin midair and hurdle a guy backwards. Something that has never happened before and will never happen again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know, man. It's fun. It's just fun to watch.
For sure. And a lot of credit is deserved to be given to your O line, right?
Yes.
Honestly, let's be real. For both of those touchdown runs, you could argue it could have been me back there, bro. I would have
Bro,
been scoring. Those
bro.
holes were huge, bro. But Saquon makes it look super fucking easy, man. And
Yeah.
I gotta say, what you guys have been able to do this season is super special. Obviously, there's still a lot that needs to unfold, right? We got a battle going on as far as these top RBs, but I think it's
Yeah.
really obviously easier to say and easier to point to when you have a team sort of built to make Saquon succeed as much as possible, right?
Mhm, mhm.
But for all the folks saying that RBs don't matter, right? Open your fucking eyes, ladies and gentlemen, because you could argue the most impactful offensive players this entire season have all been RBs from multiple teams,
Yeah.
not just the Eagles.
Yeah. Nah, I think what we're seeing from the running backs this year could potentially reset the value on that position. I honestly think that we're in a transitional space right now, because this idea that the MVP is award is only a quarterback award is the dumbest thing. I understand the reasoning for it, but it's honestly the dumbest thing, because if you have a player, I don't care what position, receiver, tight end, on the defensive, whatever. Like, if you have a guy that is so impactful that he can sway the momentum in such a crazy way, whether he's playing or if he's sitting. You know what I'm saying? if you have a guy like that, that has to be a MVP candidate, bro. And you're winning. And it's not just like he's doing it and you're losing. He's doing it and you're winning. That means something. So I honestly think that what he's doing, what Derrick Henry's doing, like what all these guys are doing this year, um, I think is great for running backs moving forward. Not just in the MVP conversation, but in terms of their contracts. I think that's phenomenal. And to be honest, I wouldn't even mind seeing the MVP kind of like get expanded to where we're actually paying more attention to the offensive line or the defensive line because the guys in those positions are making whatever happen, like whatever you're talking. It doesn't matter. You're talking about Lamar Jackson, like Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. It doesn't matter which offensive line you're talking about. Like these guys make these guys look even better. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some times where they can't if they don't have that line, they're not getting off like that. You know? So I wouldn't mind seeing the MVP conversation kind of expand even further than just running backs or receivers. Like let's look at the offensive line as well. Let's look at the defensive line because there are teams that have guys in both areas that are playing very well, you know.
For
And
sure.
so,
And you could argue that some guys that's playing despite, right, not having the same sort of offensive line scenario, still
yes,
overperforming. So there's a
yes,
lot of ways you could look at that contextually too, right? It isn't
yes,
just let's give these guys credit. It's also let's put into perspective, right, what these stats are for
yes,
these different MVP candidates. You love to see that, and I couldn't agree with you anymore. It's only right before we move on, we talk a little bit about Monday nights, the Hardball Bowl, right?
yes, sir.
My guy, John, right? We're 3-0 against Jim. I'm sorry, right? We got the Super Bowl in there too, right?
Yeah,
Big Dubs. I'll throw it
that's
out there,
crazy.
but
That's crazy.
um, these games are always super competitive, and I thought this was another phenomenal one. But I thought it was only right, right after such a crazy game by Saquon, Derrick Henry's like, hold on, I'm still
Yeah,
here too. You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
I still got some shit to do as
Yes, sir.
well. Finished the night with 140 yards. Didn't get a touchdown on the night, but Lamar Jackson was able to clean up the rest of those, giving us a modest two touchdown night, 177 yards passing behind all of that. And then you add up all the points, and somehow we got a 30-point victory. Man, you love to see a balanced offense executing and being able to get it done against a team that has been surging offensively. So I swear I didn't put this in just to rub myself
Yeah,
on the back,
pause.
right? I'm
Yeah,
not just patting myself on the back here, but I
yeah,
gotta say, um, what both of these guys, Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, have been able to accomplish
yeah,
on a secondary contract, right? Or a
yeah,
third contract even.
yes,
Um, for a new team is phenomenal to see. And I think, like you said, hopefully moving forward, we start to put some respect on these running backs' names because if you find the right guy, right,
yeah,
like the Texans did in Joe Mixon,
yeah,
like the Vikings did in Aaron Jones and these other two options, right?
yeah,
These positions can really change the outlook of not just your org, but your franchise for the future. So
yeah. I would
big time.
even give a special shout out as well to Austin Eckler for the Commanders. Like he's been doing a great job there too. You know, I
Mhm.
think it's interesting, especially when you're talking about guys that have moved on from their original teams,
Mhm.
right? Think about who either drafted him, how different they would look this year, or the teams that decided to not sign them.
Yep.
It's mind-boggling how different those teams would possibly look with
Yep.
them on there.
And how much could change, dude.
And yeah, yeah. I mean the vision, their position in the conference, like I think that is absolutely crazy to even think about that possibility, you know. But who knows?
Only time shall tell, but it's only right that now we move in
Yes,
to
sir.
week 13, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit. Our
Yes, sir.
current standings are as follows for our head to
Oof,
head picks. Derek, I'm sorry.
I know.
But we
It's been a
racking
rough
it
year.
up, baby. It's
It's been a
time.
rough year, bro.
Last week I had the honor of going 10-3, so that brought my record to 115 wins and 67 losses, while Derek still went a respectable 8-5, bringing his total on the year to 107 wins and 75 losses. Hey, don't be too hard on yourself. You're not in a bad spot.
Not at all.
I'm just in a better spot, ladies and
Yes, sir.
gentlemen. Holy. But let's jump right into, like I said, what is gonna be my favorite time of the year. The Thanksgiving holiday has arrived, and we got some football to discuss,
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen. But first and foremost, Derek, I'm throwing it right on the spot, right? No time.
sir.
We need to go top 5 Thanksgiving must-haves. We need this on the menu.
Yes,
It
sir.
is accounted for well before the day, right? These
Yes,
are
sir.
the staples. This is what
Yes.
we need.
Mhm.
Now, we can do this in order, right? A 5 to 1. I gave you no heads up here, right? So I'm gonna
Mm,
go with my number 5 right off the top. And I think this is a very uniquely Puerto Rican experience, right? I'm
yeah.
just letting that one out there. But for me, my number 5, my must have, y'all could keep y'all pies or whatever. Give me those homemade Rice Krispie treats, right? You get the Rice
Ooh,
Krispie cereal, you get the marshmallow, you throw a stick of butter in there, let it melt
yeah.
down those marshmallows, right? Throw it all in. The wrist work, right? It
Yes,
gets
sir.
the biceps going, the forearms cut up.
Yeah.
One hell of a dish to make, and when you have it fresh, right? There's such a difference than that store bought shit. So if you haven't had it,
Bro.
ladies and gentlemen, make it yourself. Rice Krispie candy at number 5 for me. Who you got at
Ooh.
number 5, Derek?
Man, if we're gonna go dessert first, bro, I gotta go sweet potato pie. Now, my preference is the homemade graham cracker crust, not the store bought. Store
Mm,
bought's cool, a little thin, but it's cool. I need a thick graham cracker crust, bro.
whew. That's my favorite part of any pie. So you are convincing me right now. So,
Bro, I look, I like and honestly, it wasn't until I met Mariah's mom
wow.
that I even liked anybody else's sweet potato pie. It's literally just been my mom's. Her sweet potato pie is fire as well. So I got it. Both sides of my family, I got it. I got it made. I'm in heaven. Love it.
Mm, you love to
But
see that set for life.
set for life. But I am a stickler for graham cracker crust. Pie crust, doesn't matter if it's homemade or store bought. It is it's not it's it to me it doesn't add to the pie. It just kind of
It
like
is the pie. How about that?
it
It is the pie.
you think
The
so?
pie is nothing without it. Yeah, yeah, bro,
Oh,
for real.
I
Cheesecake
don't
as well, right? If you give me a cheesecake with
yeah.
no crust, go fuck yourself. Like I'm
The
not eating
thing
this shit.
that's the thing. I need graham cracker crust on cheesecake as well. I need it on my pie though.
Yeah, no,
Like
I agree.
that if because just the regular crust itself is just that I've never been a fan of it. I always felt like it was dry a little bit.
Okay.
So give me that. Give me that sweet
I
potato
like
pie.
that. I like that. Sweet
Yeah.
potato pie at number 5.
Yeah.
Number 4, this one might not be traditional, right? But ever since my girl came into my life, she done changed it in so many
Hey,
ways.
that's usually how it happens, bro.
In so many ways,
Supposed to.
bro. And this one, I couldn't believe how much it's meant to me, right? Ever since it's been introduced over 4 years, no, over 6 years ago, because yeah, a couple of years we didn't spend it together, but over 6 years ago, it's been a
Yeah.
staple. We got the jalapeno cheddar cornbread, ladies and gentlemen. Oh Lord,
Oh.
something that I never really thought would have room on the plate, right? We got
Mm,
all these different things going on. We got the stuffings, we got all this, but it serves more so in my mind, right? As like a palate cleanser, right? We got
yeah.
all these different things going on. You dip to the cornbread. You know it's all reliable, right? It'll
Hmm.
get you ready for the next flavor palette wise. Any grease you might have is sopping that up, right? So
Yeah.
give me that jalapeno cheddar cornbread at number four.
Number four, I'm gonna go my mom's seafood dressing. That's a must-have, bro. Like that's a must-have. Thanksgiving and Christmas, I gotta have that.
So can we get some details here? What do you mean by this?
So it,
Because
it's
I hear dressing, I'm thinking salad dressing. So what are we looking
Nah,
at?
okay. So dressing is what stuffing would be if it's not in the turkey. Excuse me. You just bake it as a side, as a side dish.
Got you.
But yeah, I think she puts like shrimp in there. She puts um I think she puts lump crab meat in there too.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, bro. I haven't. I don't think I've ever had seafood on Thanksgiving. So this is
Oh,
yeah.
I grew up early on. Of course, it was turkey, but my mom stopped eating turkey,
Mhm.
and then for health reasons, her and then my sister stopped. So my dad and I were eating it for a while, and then when I was 12 years old, I had a seizure. She blamed it on that. That's a whole different story. But for 5 years, I went without a chicken or turkey. So we had seafood, like salmon as our turkey. So they different made different ways. So gonna have it again this year, but yeah,
Dude, that's so fire. Honestly, I
yeah,
love that.
yeah, yeah.
I love that. You gotta have your. It makes it unique, right? It makes the dishes unique. For
For
my number
sure.
three, I'm gonna go with this one. I went back and forth on, right? Because these next three, I hold them very sacred in my heart. I'm not gonna lie. So
Yeah.
I find it a shame, right? The big names, right? Turkey and things like this. It didn't even sniff in my list. Like,
I know. Yeah, no, mine either.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah, you're
Not at
not
all.
gonna be able to do it. Like, we
Yeah.
we need the other important things here, right? So for number three, I'm gonna go with very similar to Derek. I'm gonna go with my mom's bread stuffing. Now,
Mm,
this is also cooked separate, right? So it's not inside of the turkey,
yeah.
made with onions and mushroom and baked in the oven.
Yes.
And oh man, it's just so good. Like I'm watering right now thinking about it, right? But what's the best part about it is how gracefully it ages, right? That's the part
Yes.
of the
Yes.
leftovers, in my opinion, that is better than the day of. Like once
Yes.
it fully develops and those flavors are really impacted in there, oh man,
Yes.
it's the best thing. 3 days, 5 days into your leftover journey. So give me that bread stuff.
Man, yeah, that's gonna be. I'm gonna. That's probably gonna be number one. I'll save that. But based off what you're talking about, I'll give that reason later. Number three, excuse me. I'm gonna go with my sister's carrot souffle. And now, I don't even know if we're gonna have that this year because they got a stupid recall on all these carrots now. So carrots might not even be on the table this year, bro. But yeah, that carrot souffle is just chef's kiss.
Honestly, I once again I'm not even having a picture right now. So what are we
Oh,
looking at? What is this?
so think of like candied yams almost,
Hmm.
but it's God, bro. It's just different. It's different.
And it helps your vision. Like, come on, son.
Bro,
It don't
yeah,
get better than that.
I don't even be thinking about that when I'm eating it, but yeah, that's so true.
No, that sounds bomb though. And people sleep on carrot in general. Like I
Yeah.
think carrot is top tier when it comes to because bro, that sweetness, you
Yes.
can't beat that. You can't get that otherwise.
So that's the thing too. Mariah doesn't even like carrots, man.
Wow.
I got
Yeah,
I
that's
like
blasphemous.
I've been there's some stuff I've been trying to make that she's not a fan of the carrots. So um that part sucks, but she'll eat the carrot souffle. Like it's that good.
Yep.
It's that
Yep.
good.
Can't be denied. Can't be
Nope.
denied.
Nope.
So for my number two, this one is a hot take once again because we're missing out on some of the big guns here. But I gotta say, this is hands down the thing I look forward to the most. Shout out to my brother-in-law, my guy Zeke. Man, those fucking beef ribs, holy best fucking ribs you could get. And I love too that there's variety, right? Everything, it's
Yeah,
not necessarily the same recipe, right? We're
yeah,
changing it up a little.
yeah.
But this man is the rib connoisseur. So no matter what,
Mm.
it's bodied.
Oh
Just
man,
I'll leave it at that.
are they braised or they smoked, grilled? What?
I believed entirely done in the oven, but
Okay,
cooked multiple times, so
okay.
it fall off the bone.
Yeah,
Amazing.
he's braising them. That's fire. You can't miss out on something like that. I never had ribs for Thanksgiving. That might be a. I have to do that real soon.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
number two, I'm gonna go seafood mac and cheese, bro.
Holy, hold on. Okay. Shout out to mac and cheese, a very important fixture, cannot be denied.
Yes.
Now, what exactly you said seafood? I know I'm assuming
Yeah.
shrimp. But what else are we looking at here?
Oh, we talking about crab.
Whew,
I think shrimp is in there, but it's mainly crab. Yeah, shrimp and crab and smoked gouda.
whew. Yeah, that sounds so good.
Mm,
The goat.
yeah.
Hey, bro. Honestly, you tip my hand. Fuck it. Number one, give me the baked mac and cheese. And just to be clear about this,
Yes.
listen, this is not a hot take. Shout out to my girlfriend once again, the love of my life. She changed the way I'm looked at Thanksgiving. Right now, I'm a
Yeah.
part of the festive. Motherfuckers is like, you better bring your dish. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
really? Look at that.
You're over
So
mac and cheese?
yeah, I'm the mac and cheese guy
Okay.
of the household. You love to
Good.
see it,
Good.
but you gotta make these are formulaic, right?
Yes.
This is not amateur hour. If you come to me with some pre-store bought shit,
Oh,
listen, don't even bring it
the
because
soupy stuff.
you're gonna get kicked out. You're not gonna be allowed into the crib. Like I need these cheeses to be hand graded, right?
Yes.
I
That's
need
the
listen, I need the proper care to go into
yes.
this mac and cheese so that when it comes out, it is not light skin, first of all,
Not at all.
and most importantly, every one of those pieces of macaroni has the appropriate amount of cheese drizzled in. Derek,
Yes.
thank you for understanding how important this is to me
Yes.
because this there's nothing better in my opinion about Thanksgiving than that fucking mac and cheese. I'll leave
Bro,
it at
and
that.
no breadcrumbs. That crust needs
Thank
to be
you.
the cheese, bro. Like, I don't know what people be on, but yeah, no, that the breadcrumbs on the mac and cheese. That ain't cool. That ain't cool. That ain't
Not
cool.
at all.
What
Not at all.
cheese do
I
you
agree.
use?
So I will give you the spread right now. I keep it real simple, but these are the game changers here. You ready? I got a block of sharp yellow, of course, and then I
Okay.
keep a second block for the top, right? So two
Yes.
blocks of solid sharp yellow. Now
Yes.
this is where things get a little dicey for some people. I also go with the Gouda. I got a full bar in there.
Hmm.
Now I got a full block of mozzarella in there.
Okay.
And now the most important one. This is the key right here. One block of Fontina cheese. This is a cheese that not many people can
Tina.
find at their local supermarket. But in
I've
my
never even
opinion,
heard of it.
bro, it is the key to making good mac and cheese because it makes it so creamy. Like I can't explain the difference, but that Fontina specifically, I
Okay.
recommend it. Try it out. Add it to your
Okay.
recipe if you can.
Okay. I will definitely keep that. Yeah, I'm gonna go look for that. Um, my number one. My number one for mainly the reason that you just said, I think for your number three, was that it just ages gracefully over the next few days. My dad's collard greens, bro. And specifically with smoked turkey, not ham hock. You cannot, you cannot do a proper batch of collard greens without smoked turkey, bro. You need smoked turkey.
Now I gotta ask you this one thing, right? We'll move on as soon as I'm done. All right.
Mm.
Where are these greens being washed?
In a clean sink.
Because when I start hearing tub, now you're losing me, Kamala.
Bro,
You're losing me.
hey man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I think that's the spot where Kamala Harris lost me.
She lost the
Oh,
election right there.
bro,
That's
that
the
election, she
moment she
lost that
lost
election
the
with
election.
bro. What the hell you talking about? You making your greens in a tub. You washing your greens in a tub for what? You do not have that many people coming to your house. Yeah, you gotta wash greens in a tub, bro. Not at all. Not at all. Like, nah. Nah. And her recipe sounded good,
Hmm.
but right there, nope.
So
Hell
I'm not
nah.
gonna lie to you, Derek. I might hurt some feelings by saying this. I've never had collard greens on Thanksgiving. I've
Hey,
had
look.
I've had collard greens as a part of soul food, but I've never
Yeah.
had it on as a Thanksgiving staple. So I might
It's
have to add it to the repertoire.
since childhood. It's been at every Thanksgiving I've gone to at from my house. Now, here's the thing too. Not everybody knows how to make collard greens. Like, I don't need my collard greens being tough. I need it. I need it like you need to have that on the stove for hours. I need that to soak in all the flavor. I don't want to crunch. I don't want the stem to be a little chewy. I need that. I'm trying to have like an unpause worthy moment right now. I need I need to be able to just bite. I just need to be able to eat it and it's not crunchy. That's it.
There we go.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Melt
Greens.
in the mouth. You love to see it. I love that I gave you this assignment, right? And we were ready, right? I wasn't ready. I didn't even have a list ready. But
Yeah.
off top, off the rip, we know exactly what we're looking forward to this week. Can't wait. My favorite time of year.
Yes,
But
sir.
god damn it, we got some real other things to address here. So let's get back to it. God damn it.
Yes,
We
sir.
got the Bears on the road in Detroit going up against the Lions in what is a traditional ass whipping, right? This has been the same old story for many a years now, but for some
Yeah.
reason, we still get to take them out back to the shed, point at the tree, and say, "Hey, why don't you pick one?" And then we whipping that ass, right? So
Yeah.
this is going to be, despite it being a divisional matchup, which always is a little bit more competitive than the rest.
Mhm.
I ain't giving the Bears a shot here. I think the Lions are just too dominant, and they have something to play for too with the way their division is.
Yeah.
Sorry, give me the Lions.
Yeah. I'm going Lions as well. Quick question about this in general. Do you feel that we need to move on from the traditional Thanksgiving game slate and have the games that make the most sense in terms of being the most competitive?
Yeah, this is a storyline that you could have missed me with like fucking 15 years ago. I'm
Yes.
tired. I listen, I love me some Thanksgiving football. Okay. It is
Yeah.
a staple. The game is on as soon as it starts. Trust me. I love it. But
Mhm.
why are we getting mid-offs every single year? And what
Every
is
year.
this is the marquee, right? It's recent. It's in recent times that the NBA has sort of embraced, hey, this is a big deal. Let's make this a marquee day for us.
Yeah.
So you got a little bit more competition in that way, but let's put
Mhm.
our best foot forward here, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, all these games kind of suck except for the last one. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm be honest with you, bro. I don't remember the last time I watched football on a Thanksgiving.
no way. You don't even
I
just throw it on?
I don't even put it on, bro.
Holy.
I don't even put it on. I'm probably playing video games or something.
So I'm too
Actually,
busy.
I do remember one. The last one I think I remember watching was the Eagles. I don't remember who they were playing though.
Mhm.
That had to be like 10, 12 years ago.
Sheesh.
Yeah. I don't rock if the games are trash, I ain't watching it, bro. I don't care if it's a traditional thing. Like these matchups are
For
trash.
me though, if football's on, I'll throw it on. I don't give a fuck. That's how
I
I
mean,
look at it.
yeah.
But I feel you though. I
This
feel
one
you.
got a protest though. I can't do it.
And we got to keep that same energy for the second one, right? Because holy shit, this game for the last like 6 years, at least we was getting an ass whooping. Now
Yeah.
this is gonna be like a, oh, you gonna win? No, 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 no. You gonna win? No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Come on, you gonna win? And they're gonna go back and forth until
Yeah.
eventually someone decides, fuck it. I
Yeah.
wanted the number one pick, but you can have it. Like that. That's how this game is gonna be.
Mhm.
Fuck you to this whole organization. I'm happy, right? I'm happy for the Cowboys that they're in this position. I got to say though, for the Giants, hilarious, right? Just a move that, I mean, we didn't even get to talk about this as a standalone thing. We could have made it a headline, but that's how irrelevant this organization is. We don't even need to because, right, this is just the kind of things that the Giants do. But waving him, right? You're gonna cut the man after all this shit, and now you're gonna make it out to be like he's the fucking problem here, which is even funnier, dude.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, shitty organization put my guy in a shitty spot, paid him and made him in the face of the franchise, and still made him walk his way out of the fucking outhouse to the
Yeah.
back of the Meadowlands. You hate to see it, right? Just absolute poverty franchise here. So no matter what happens, why don't we get a double knockout here, right? Give me a fucking
Yeah.
tie,
Yeah.
and I would
Oh,
love that. I would
yes,
love
that'd be
that.
great. That'd be great.
But not for the viewers. But that
Yeah.
obviously we can't pick that on the slate. Give me the Giants because somebody's got to win. And god damn it, both of these teams suck. So
Give me the Cowboys. I think the fact that they they beat the Commanders last week,
yep.
and they shouldn't have even done that. They shouldn't have even done that. I think the players have more pride than the organization does. So give me the Cowboys.
You love to see that. Hey, at least someone has something to play for.
Hmm.
The only Thanksgiving game that matters, and does it really matter, Derek? Does it
Yeah.
really matter? I'm not sure. We've got the Dolphins on the road in Lambeau against the Packers at 8:20. Right at this point, the itis has already kicked in.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
I'm asleep.
at the at this
I'm no
point, the
good.
night is winding down. Yeah, I don't envy the commentators on this game because they're
Nah.
gonna have a tough time on this one. Why
Yeah.
don't you tell us who you got, Derek? Who you got?
I'm gonna go to Packers, bro. I think another. This is another team who that has a running back that is making a beautiful impact on their team. Josh Jacobs is doing a great job this year. Give me the Packers. I think the Dolphins are still like they're. I think they're getting a little bit better, but I just can't trust them. And you're not at home.
Yep.
You're not at home. So give me the Packers.
Honestly, I was really going back and forth here. There was a long period of time where I was confident I was going with the Dolphins here. I think they're at a good spot momentum wise, like you mentioned, but you could say the same about the Packers. And for
Yeah.
all the reasons you just said, right? It just feels
Yeah.
like there's too much going against the Dolphins here. And once again, the Pack still in a position where they need to win these games to put themselves in
Yes.
a position to win the division.
Hmm.
I'm going with the Packers here too, but this should be the most competitive one of the night. Hopefully, we don't
Yeah.
get an ass whooping here,
Yeah. Yeah.
but who knows? Next up, we got Black Friday deals and Black Friday ass whoopings, right? Belt to ass. Let's fucking do it. Noah Gray is about to have like 4 tutties. We got the
Yeah.
Raiders on the road against the defending. Shout out to Dana White. The reigning,
Yeah.
defending Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs at 3 p.m. This is strange, right? I don't know
Yes.
about you. Football on a Friday, it feels like Freaky Friday. Like
Yeah.
what's going on here? Somebody's been duped. There's something wrong in the atmosphere. I don't like the way it feels to have football
Yeah.
on a Friday, especially in the afternoon. Like
Bro.
usually when you hear Friday on another day than Sunday, it's nighttime. So
Bro,
to have
Friday
this at
night.
3
Well, like
p.m. Like, hey, at least that way, all the people that wanted to camp out and fight for shoes have already did it. You're at home icing your black eye.
yeah.
I guess it makes sense in that way, but we got a game that doesn't make sense, right? Because we both know who we're picking. We got the Chiefs.
Yeah, yep. I mean, I don't even know who the Raiders are putting out there for QB this week. So,
Yep.
um, yeah, give me the Chiefs.
Hey, call him Gardner O'Connell. 'Cause it's gonna be one of those fuckers out there. Next up, we got another divisional matchup to open up our Sunday 1 p.m. slate. We've got the Texans on the road against the Jaguars. Now, the Texans are in a good spot, but there's
Yeah.
been a lot of talk about CJ Stroud and his sophomore slump. Derek, before you give us your pick, I gotta ask you, is this observable? Is this something that you have noticed in your time observing the Texans this year? And how
Mm.
can they move past it, right? Because the playoffs are not too far away.
Yeah, no, it is a little slump. I mean, again, like what I said earlier, young players need time to develop. I mean, Stroud came into the league. and was on fire. But you have teams that have figured him out. So now what you need to do is figure out what to do to overcome that. And I think that's just the position he's in right now. He'll get it. I think he's a phenomenal talent. So this is not it's not going to be hard for him to develop and get through it. It's going to take time. For
Yep.
consistency is going to take time. So we'll see where he is next year. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely taking the Texans with this one. There's no way in hell I could take the Jaguars to win this.
Yes, sir. Apparently, Trevor Lawrence is efforting to come back at some point. So that is
Why?
of note. But yeah. Why?
Why? Like, you're two and
Hey, we're
nine,
trying
bro.
to run the table again. Did you forget?
What is the point?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know.
What's the
Shout out to
point?
Doug. Shout out to Hey, at least you haven't been fired yet, right? Yet. Keyword yet.
Yet,
We still
yeah,
got time.
that's definitely happened before. Well, at least by the end of the season, he's definitely getting fired.
Oh, you heard it here first. Next up, in that 1 p.m. window, we got the Colts on the road against the Pats. I'll take the reins because this is a tough matchup. There's a lot of different nuances to really go back and
Yeah,
forth on about this one.
yeah,
Um, I'm going with the Colts because somebody's got to win. And
yeah,
ultimately, although they're not humming the way they need to, I think the Colts have finally realized, oh, yeah, if we want our star to develop, he needs to play. So thankfully, he's been doing that, right?
yeah,
Holy, who would have thought
yeah.
that's a good idea to have some developing snaps against the Detroit Lions? But now he gets a winnable game against the Patriots. I think there's a lot of trouble for the Patriots defense, not just in the matchup, but mostly in the preparation. There's a
Mhm.
lot of different players that are going down for them too. So, yeah, give me the Colts. This might be my lock of the week.
Yeah, give me the Colts as well.
Yep, it's one of those weeks, huh? It's one of
Yeah,
those weeks.
yeah.
Next up, we have a game that gets to pretend like it's interesting, right? It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
it's not there, but it's efforting. We've
yeah.
got the Chargers on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. This one is near and dear to your heart, near and dear to your home, Derek. So who do you got?
Oh man, this is a 1 o'clock game. I'm gonna go to Chargers, bro.
Ooh,
I I don't know. I think the Falcons could do it, but we're talking about teams that you can trust right now. I'm gonna probably put my trust more so in the Chargers right now than the Falcons.
I think that's a really sound way to look at this matchup, man. I thought they gave us a tough game, even though it wasn't as close as the final score suggested.
Yeah,
If Quentin Johnston could catch a fucking ball, right? I mean, this team might actually
yeah,
be a great offense.
yeah,
But the dude is struggling out there, so it makes it tough. I feel like the Falcons got a lot to prove coming off of a bye, which definitely does help their cause. At the
yeah.
same time, though, I agree with you. I think the Chargers have the better recipe for winning football, if you ask me.
Hmm.
Even though you could argue that the Falcons definitely have the better running backs, the better running situation
Yes, yes,
resides with the Chargers. So
yeah,
give me the Chargers as well. Next up, got the Seahawks on the road against the Jersey Jets. So it's only right. We bring that New York expertise off the top. Shout out to the Seahawks for really trying to pull it together at this point of the season. I think they're putting out some of their best tape to date, especially on the
yeah.
offensive side of the ball. The Jets, just show me something, right? Show me signs, right? Show me that there are still people on the island trying to survive, right? Just show me something, because it's looking bad. It's probably going to get worse. I'll take the Seahawks on the road.
Yeah, give me the Seahawks as well, especially when you're talking about um, everything that came out this week about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, really? What was that? I didn't hear about that.
And there apparently, I think Woody Johnson wants to move on from him next year. He's injured. He's hiding his injuries. Don't want to go get tested or do different extensive tests to learn the severity of the injuries. this, that, and the other. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what's true or not. I'm just that whole team is just trash, bro. Like, and to think Devonte Adams, you go to Jersey to play with Aaron Rodgers, and you're playing with a shell of him.
Yep. If that's what you call it.
And if that's what you go, I like, and I don't even know, I don't even remember what his contract is this year. So, if he is it possible he's locked in for another year or two? Because if Rodgers is gone, now you're stuck there,
Tyrod Taylor.
bro. Like,
Yeah. Hey,
what
make
the
sure
hell?
that medical staff knows what they doing, all right?
Hey,
Before they
bro.
touch my boy. I don't want no issues again, all right?
Hey, man. I don't know. I don't know. That's absolute trash.
Yeah, that absolute poverty franchise. And next up, we move on to one team that's a little out of the dumps, but two teams that have been historical poverty-ridden franchises as well. We got the Titans on the road against the Commanders. Um, a tale of two teams. I think
Mm.
honestly, this version of the Titans is a lot better than week 1 and 2, right?
Yep.
I think they are looking a lot better, especially when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. Now, does that translate into them competing in these games? I don't think so. I think you're always a Will Levis bonehead mistake away from a Will Levis oh shit moment
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
from absolute catastrophe.
Yep.
And although the Commanders kind of lost that game last week against the Cowboys, let's be real, they shouldn't have. They should have
Nah.
won. They should have been able to make that extra point and put themselves in a position to make it happen. So yeah, it's hard for me to go against the Commanders here. I'm picking the Commanders, but this is a setup game, if you ask me. I think the
Yeah.
Commanders, despite doing well throughout this entire season, I think you could look back at their competition that they've won against and argue a little bit. Hey, maybe they're not as battle tested as they may seem with their record. So
Yeah.
this is a trap game, but still, give me the Commanders.
Yeah, give me the Commanders as well. But I mean, I don't even think they should have been in that position to begin with the Cowboys. To be
Yep,
honest with you, like, yeah, they should have kicked that field goal and sent it into overtime. But they shouldn't even been in that position.
yep, literally.
So yeah, it is a young team. It's not like they're an experienced group yet. However,
Hmm.
that shouldn't have happened. But
Yep,
give me the Commanders with this game. I'm not choosing the Titans for anything.
for nothing.
And nothing at all.
Next up, we got another divisional banger. We got the Steelers on the road against the Bengals. This is a big one, man, with
Yes,
big
sir.
implications in the division. Obviously, the Bengals are probably at this point on the outside looking in from a playoff berth perspective.
Yes.
Technically, they're still in the running for the wild card, but it's going to be the last wild card if they get one.
Yeah.
Um, this game, though, means a lot. Obviously, for my Ravens, given we're a half game behind, but
Mhm.
also for the Bengals, right? They still have hope. They still think it's their time. And obviously, coming off of their own bye, they got a lot to play for here. You know what? Fuck it. At home, give me the Bengals. I think the Steelers have been fraudulent all season, even when they've looked good. And I think
Mhm.
a big part of that is because although their defense, for the most part, does a good job at bottling, they do have coverage issues. And I think as the game continues to wear on, I think those issues are going to become a little bit more prevalent. So I think the Bengals end up winning this one probably by a score. So give me the Bengals in a close one.
Give me the Steelers, bro. I don't trust the Bengals. I really don't. And to be honest, do you want to win right now?
I think they do. I think they do. I think they want to prove.
What for what? Like, they get into the playoffs, and then what happens? They're out.
I think they'd rather be in the playoffs than not.
I mean, you better look more so for your draft pick at this point.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I'm that line, bro. That line just needs they need to improve.
Yep.
They really need to improve. They need to improve that defense in general, but I mean,
Right
it,
now, it says they have a 13% chance of making it into the playoffs as they sit in the 10th spot behind the Colts, Dolphins, and Broncos.
ain't no way in hell. At this point, I'm tanking.
I think they can make it, bro. I
They
really do think they
need
can make
to.
it.
I think they could too, but there's no need.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no need. For what? You're gonna get into the playoffs and get bounced out, like, immediately.
Yep. Your defense is nowhere near good enough to compete. Yeah, I agree.
With anybody,
Yeah.
with anyone. It don't matter you talking about the AFC or NFC. No one that would be in the playoff picture would they be able to compete against.
Yeah. You're done. You're
You're
done.
done.
Wrap
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah. No.
Okay. I love that you're going with the Steelers here, though. It gives us opposite picks for once.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Cardinals on the road going up against the Vikings. Cardinals coming off of a wet fart performance last week.
Oof.
God damn it. I know you needed that one
I
bad, man.
needed that one bad,
You
bro.
was like that guy. Shit, I need about 50. You needed that shit bad, and then for
Bro, I
them to
saw
come
that. I was
out and
like,
look
God
that
damn.
way too, I'm like, damn.
Yeah. That was horrible. That was horrible. Yeah. I don't know, man. This one is Sam Darnold got hurt last week, right?
Yes, but I think he's still on track to play.
Okay. Give me the Vikings.
Question mark.
Give me the Vikings. They give me the Vikings, but yeah, I think this is a game they could lose for sure.
Yep. Setup game to say the least.
Yeah,
I definitely went back and forth on this one. I think both teams have a lot to play for. But I would say the Vikings is definitely a lot more banged up. It isn't just Sam Darnold either. Stuff with Aaron Jones as well. Had fumble issues last week. I don't know if that's related or not.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's an interesting spot for both of these teams to be in, though. I think talent for talent, though, the Vikings should be the ones that pull out the victory. So I'll stick with that. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, we move on to what for a second I thought was a divisional matchup, but no, it's not. We've got the
yeah,
Rams on the road against the Saints. Hey, get us a couple more weeks. This might be a poverty game, ladies and gentlemen. But I gotta ask, Derek, off the rip,
yeah,
do we think that the Rams have hope to find themselves in the playoffs as they find themselves in the 10th spot opposite the Bengals in the NFC? So 10th
yeah.
spot AFC Bengals, 10th spot NFC Rams.
So I think the Rams have much more to be hopeful about than the Bengals.
That's fair.
They do. I mean, yeah, the Eagles did what they did, but the Rams are, they are a good team. They're not like great, but they are a lot better than I expected them to be, at least from last year. Excuse me, you come into this year and Aaron Donald's gone, bro. That's a big thing to have to overcome. So for them to be able to do that this year and in a season that is honestly it is a transitional season for them. You got players that you're that are young and you can build with. So they're kind of retooling, but they still look good. They still look good. And they look like a team that, you know, if they get into the playoffs, they could do something. What that something is, I don't know, but they could do something. They would do more than the Bengals. I would put it to you like that. Yeah, yeah. So
So we picking them, right?
yeah,
Easy game. We move on just like that.
yeah.
You love
Give me
to
the
see it.
Bengals. Give me the Bengals. I
Hey,
mean,
it's
the
the Rams.
the Rams.
Yeah, good luck to the Saints. Shout out Taysom Hill, dude is balling. I picked him up. I would say pick him up if you can. This last stretch, I think he's got a contract to play for, ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen. So
yes.
why not? Next up, we got what is a divisional game?
Mm.
Question mark. We got
Yeah,
the Bucks on the road against
yeah,
the Panthers in a game that means a lot more to one of these teams than the other. I'll let you decide which one. Of course, it's the Bucks, ladies and gentlemen. They are also finding themselves on the outside looking in right now, the playoff picture, trying to inch their way towards those wild card spots. Obviously, you know where my heart lies. You know where my affinities lie. I'm going with the Bucks here. But
yeah,
last week made it dicey. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, yeah,
This also is one of those potential trap games here, especially
yeah,
if Jonathan Brooks gets more involved in this offense and we see him starting to put in work alongside Chuba Hubbard as well. Um, that's a scary thought. But
Yeah.
ultimately, I still think the Bucks' firepower is just too strong. Am I crazy, Derek?
No, no, no. I'm gonna go with the Bucks as well, man. I think they are the more experienced team right now. So, but the Panthers could make it a game, and they could actually get this one. I wouldn't be surprised if they did win this one. But give me the Bucks with this one.
Now it's time to talk about the only game that
The
matters
only
this
one.
week, ladies and gentlemen, the OTS Super Bowl. We've got the Eagles on the road at M&T in Baltimore. The
Yes, sir.
Ravens looking to continue their streak while the Eagles are looking to do the exact same. Two absolute powerhouses of their conferences. But there can only be one leader of the birds. So I got to start off right off the top. I got to let you know, Derek. I'm going with my Ravens. Of course, I ain't picking your fucking Eagles. Hell no. No way. No, sir. But if there was a week I was going to pick against my Ravens, it probably would be this one, in all honesty. I think you guys defensively are tailor made to put in some work and really stop Lamar Jackson's passing offense, which obviously can be dangerous and detrimental. But then I look around and I'm trying to figure this out. And hey, Jalen Carter is a little scary. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong. The dude's putting in work, but um,
yeah.
I'll still take our backfield over anybody out there. And I think that's going to be the difference in this game. Obviously, you guys have a very formidable run game in your own right, but I think it's going to be a battle of attrition and whose legs are going to die out first. I think your defense is a lot more suited to play against a pass heavy offense than it is a run heavy offense. So that's going to be our edge here. But honestly, our defense ain't suited to stop nobody. So this is going to be a tough matchup in that way, right?
Yeah.
Because we're looking to grind you out, but we also have to score more than you somehow, which is a scary proposition. When, like I said, you got the white curtain out there doing the damn thing.
The white
It's
curtain
hard
is
to defend,
hilarious.
right? It's hard to defend against the white curtain, right? Because they can attack where you cannot defend, right?
Right, right,
But
right.
with all that being said, I'm going with my Ravens. I ain't confident, right? This is a hell of a fight here, but
Yeah.
someone's got to fucking do it. Give me the Ravens, baby.
Yes, sir. Give me the Ravens as well. No, I'm just playing. Give me the
I love
Eagles,
that.
bro.
I love that.
I'm going to Eagles, bro. I think it's going to be an excellent game. This is going to be really fun to watch. But I will say that I think that our defense is built to defend this type of offense. Um, I actually believe that our run defense is suited enough to stop Henry, at least slow him down a lot. Um, we've played. This is not our first time with this group. At least the majority of these players playing against Derrick Henry, right? And I know it was the Titans. I know. However, they did a really good job with him. I know this is not that. this is this is Derrick Henry with Lamar Jackson. That's a different beast. But I have faith in our defense to stop or slow down rather. Because I this is the Super Bowl matchup that I told you I think we were going to have. So I am looking at this matchup this week with a specific set of expectations. I'm looking at this matchup with a sense of pride because not only is it us going against each other, these are two dominant teams. Like you said, they're the forces in their conference. So I think that this is going to be a phenomenal matchup. I think that what Saquon's going to be able to do, what Jalen's going to be able to do, I believe, excuse me, I believe Devontae Smith plays this week. I think they sat him out last week, because it's a hamstring injury, and they knew they could win this without him on the field. But
Yep.
yeah, this is the matchup you want him to play, and I think he suits up for this one. So I give me the Eagles with this one, bro. I'm not gonna give a score prediction. Hopefully,
Too much work.
Yeah, it's way too much work. Maybe we stream it live and discuss the game while we play. I don't know. I don't
Ooh,
know.
I would love that.
We'll see. But I would love to. I'm looking forward to this game. This is gonna be a really good game, really fun game. Um, Give me the Eagles.
Ugh, it just left a shitty taste in my mouth. But we will move on to our Sunday night matchup. We got the 49ers on the road against the Bills. Derek, I'm going to be real with you right off the top. I tried really hard to pick the 49ers here. I was looking at all the different angles, all the different ways in which I could see, hey, this team really needs this. This team really,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's not happening, Chief. I think the Bills are at a really good spot of the season right now where they don't have to overextend themselves to win ball games, right? They're just
Yeah.
going out there and playing their game,
Yep.
which is a feat that I honestly am having a really hard time easing into when looking at this
Mm,
Bills team. It's just so opposite of who they have been, right? This just
yes.
juggernaut of an offense that'll lay 40 on you, or they go out like mice, right? It's one or the other. They haven't had that issue this season. And even in the games where they were a little bit more potent, they're keeping it close with their defense and finding other ways to win too. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Niners. I tried. I looked. I promise. I was looking at all the different intangibles. But you remember how earlier in the year I told you, I flipped, got CMC back. I just,
Mhm.
I just flipped him again. I just flipped him again. I
Ooh.
got me a first rounder this year from someone who just lost last week as well.
Ooh.
So he might have just bought CMC and might not even make the playoffs. So imagine that, right? I get that pick on
Ooh.
top of
Oh, you're
everything else,
gonna
and
get
I'll
him.
get his second round pick next year as well. So I have that to look forward to, right? So
That was a good move.
I'm hoping this guy loses the rest of the season. I'm
That
not gonna lie. I'm watching his game closer than mine. Because funny enough, I'm just in such a weird spot in this league. Like I don't
Yeah.
have my own pick, and I'm on the brink of playoff contention, right? Like I'm right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So funny enough, when I originally got CMC, I explained it then too. It was a ploy to take points off of the guy's roster that I had his pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
also still struggling to make the playoffs. Like I think he's a game under me
Uh-huh.
because he lost an extra game, but he's been scoring more points than me. So funny enough, now at
Wow.
this point, I'm like, he might miss out too, and then I might have two non-playoff picks, which will be absolutely amazing for the squad.
That's
So
crazy.
time will tell. Hopefully that works out. But give me the Bills,
I
goddamn.
hope that works out for you, bro. I I'm gonna be honest with you. I gave up on the Niners weeks ago. There is nothing about this team that is inspiring whatsoever,
Since the start of the season, Derek was like, "All
bro.
right,
Bro, I truly believe the Chiefs broke the Niners, bro. I honestly think that they broke their spirits and they destroyed them. They really did. They don't look anything like what we're used to them looking like. I mean, they are a horrible, horrible team right now. And you can't go based off of names. You got to go based off of play, bro. They are not playing well.
no,
They are not playing well. So give me
not
the Bills
executing on either side."
at all, at all. Give me the Bills, and they're at home too. Give me the Bills, bro. There is no way the Niners. I mean, now this is getting to the territory of like, what should this team do? Because where do they stand in the NFC right now?
Oh, it's far down. Let me open that up because I literally just closed the tab. Hold on, efforting. We've got. They are listed as the 11th team, right behind the Rams.
Yeah, there's no need. Cause they go against the Rams right now. Who you choosing?
Hey, it's a close match,
Who
but I'm
you
probably
choosing right
picking the
now?
Rams. Yeah, I'm probably picking the Rams.
It look, the Niners ain't winning it. That's all I know. I don't care if it's close or not.
Damn.
They're not winning it because they don't have an identity this year.
Yeah.
They're a horrible team. Like, yeah, man. That's
Brutal,
wild,
Derek.
huh?
Brutal.
Bro,
Brutal.
it's just honesty, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Somebody's got to do it.
yeah, honesty. Like, it's like they're not as bad as the Cowboys or the Giants are in terms of play, but they're not
But
like
when you have that kind of talent, you could argue it's worse, right?
it
Like when you're
is. That's yes, it is worse. It's just like it doesn't make any sense. So I think she's really broke 'em.
damn, shit or get off the pot, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Kyle, good luck, because you got a lot of reindeers to rein in by Christmas time. Good luck. Next up, we got the shittiest Monday night football game of all time, right? We
Bro.
got the the Jameis Winston led Browns. Shout out to Jameis. Love every second of him mic'd up during a football
Yes.
game. Just you
Yes.
love to see it. Shout out to the Snow Angels, right? Thank you
Yeah.
for that win as well. That was a big win against the Steelers. Huge win for the
Yeah.
standings, if you ask
Yeah.
me. But
Yeah.
now we get that team on the road at the Mile High, going up against Bo Nix, Bo Kane, whatever you want to call them, right? Inject it straight into your veins, ladies and gentlemen, because
Yeah,
Bo
man.
Nix, it looks like regardless of how much uh, any other team might not want him, he's here to stay, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game sucks. Give me the Broncos.
It sucks. Give me the Broncos as well. Yeah. Uh, let me ask you this: do you think Bo Nix took lead in Rookie of the Year discussions from Jaden Daniels?
Damn, that's a good question. I don't think so. I think that would be definitely stretching it right there.
Hmm.
But you could argue, right? There's still a lot of football left to play, right? If this team finds their way and with a high seeding right now, where are they? They're the seventh. They're the final wild card spot right now at 7-5,
They both have the same record.
and they got 2 games up on the teams behind them.
Hmm.
I don't know.
They both have the same record. I like there was no expectations for Denver this year.
Yeah,
There was a ton of expectations for the Commanders.
not as much.
There was more for them than it was for the Broncos.
Yes, very fair.
Definitely more. So that's where I'm kind of I don't know. I mean, I'm not willing to say wholeheartedly yes,
Hmm.
but it is a conversation right now. To me, it's worth a conversation because yeah, there's no way they're playing like this and winning when honestly they shouldn't be.
Hey, I know who's not getting it. My guy Caleb. Hey, look, keep your head high though, because I will say the last couple of weeks, I think he's seeing the field a lot better and really progressing. Right. Once again, this is
Oh,
what we need from our quarterbacks.
yeah, you mean there's a
Uh,
process to this, right?
yeah. Right. Who would
Yeah,
have thought? Who
who'd have
would have
thought?
thought? But shout out to those rookies. We got a lot more to learn about all those fellas, and only time will give us those answers. But Derek, on the way out, it's only right that I just remind you you're my guy. You're my brother. You know, it means a lot to be able to do this to you every week. I mean, do this with you every
Yes,
week.
sir.
Yeah, but what I'm gonna do to you this week is gonna be
Go ahead.
personal.
Tell me.
I've been waiting for this matchup for a long time now. Because the last time we got this matchup, it didn't go in my favor.
Yeah.
And this time we're gonna make sure that's fucking different. So shout out to all the guys. We're gonna run all over and have y'all running, y'all sorry asses back to the link. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. And with
I
all
love the
that,
confidence.
And with all that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in again. Just remember, your brother might kick your ass growing up, right? Might put you in a headlock, might make you even taste your own earwax. But the day that you can get a Super Bowl win over your brother, you are now immortalized.
Mm.
So I gotta say, Vicky, we ain't coaching no football team soon. But I'm coming for that ass. I gotta figure out my way to get my leg up on the competition. Vicky, watch out. Cause I'm gonna figure out how to level this playing field and I will be the most dominant sibling. And until next week, we'll catch you. Peace.